Welcome to Talking PHAT. That's PHAT spelled P-H-A-T, which stands for purpose, hope, and truth. This is where solutions are discussed for today's problems in our country, in our communities, and in our lives.
All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Let's see if we're going to catch up here. Looking at this Facebook Live, we're doing something a little different tonight, guys. Well, first of all, let me thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unlocking Your Legacy with Talking PHAT. I'm your host, Keith Robertson, and it's Talking PHAT, and it's P-H-A-T, which is an acronym for Purpose, Hope, and Truth. Well, listen, guys, we're doing something a little different tonight. I come live, but what I did was, because I had a guest that couldn't be here at 8 o'clock live to tune in with us and have a conversation. So I recorded it earlier. And so listen, I'm on the fringes now. I'm doing something that I haven't tried before. So hopefully it works out okay. You might have noticed I was able to get a bit of an intro back. Still can't use my music. Even though I paid for the music, I can't use it because, again, the gentleman reclaimed the content and I lost control of my videos because of that, where I had that intro. But we're gonna dig in this thing in a minute, but let's talk a little bit. First of all, we want to give all praises to the Most High that has given us the ability to come forward today. On this podcast, I come forward to bring you public information that a lot of times is not public knowledge. Some of the things that I talk about, you won't find it anywhere else. Yeah, I could come here and talk about politics. I could talk about religion. I could talk about the negative things in life, but that's not what I'm here for. You can get those on other channels. It's a plethora of other podcasts and other people online that's talking to you about the negative things in life, operating in that lower chakra. But see, I want to keep everything up high. I want to make sure that we're positioning ourselves for whatever happens. Because look, guys, let's be real, right? We see a lot of turmoil that's going on. We see a lot of discontent. We see wars actually happening, not rumors of wars, but wars actually happening, right? And so, we wonder, then you talk about AI. Is AI the devil? Let me hold on real quick. Let me tell you this. I hear people talking about how AI is the devil, and they talk about like the Terminator and those other scientific movies. You got to understand one thing. These AI started back in 1956. Okay, it started at Dartmouth workshop is when AI started. What their level of that was, I really don't know. But you use AI every day. Are you using it to open your phone? Are you using it to vacuum your floor? That little robot that knows the circumference of your house and how to move around? That's AI. We use AI every day now. It's already a part of our lives. What we see now is what's called the large language model, right? Chat GPT. It's been around. We just didn't have access to it. The everyday people didn't have access to it. But as far as business owners, it's going to make you more efficient because you're going to have to be to compete, because as the pool of customers gets smaller and smaller, you're going to have to elevate yourself to that next game. And it's just like at one point in time, a person would say, oh, I'm not computers. I'm not going to deal with computers. Again, computers, the devil, right? Isn't it funny how everything that's negative is always the devil, or we perceive to be negative, or we don't understand it's the devil. But now we walk around. We walk around every day with more technology in our pocket than JFK had when he was in office. So come on, guys. Remember this. And I'm going to get on with the show, but remember this. We were created by the Most High. The Most High lives in us. And at the point in time when the Most High gets tired of man or what man is doing, man is done. Period. Don't get caught up in the rhetoric. Don't get caught up into what's being promoted to you. Because typically, a lot of times what's happening is what's really going is like the magician, right? Look at a hand while this other hand is doing something else, right? That is what we see. Getting caught up in social media and what's going on, getting caught up in the politics and what's going on. Now, if you want to get caught up in the politics, get into your local politics. That's right. If you're in Hampton Roads, go down and see what your city councilmen are doing, right? Go and see what they're doing. those are the ones that you have direct engagement with. So, but anyway, guys, listen, we're going to move forward, and I'm going to bring to the stage a video from a Mr. Brian Beane. Now, Brian, he's a very interesting character. I shouldn't call him a character because he's a good brother. That's not a good, it's not a good identification for him. He's a good person. And I've known him for about 10 to 12 years. I met him in Atlanta years ago. And any case, let's move forward with the introductory to Brian Beane. Thank you for tuning in. As you see, we're recorded this time. We're doing a little different. Call this a throwback because we used to do it like this, but I'm planning on it live on Thursday at 8 o'clock. So you see me here. But listen, I want to introduce to you guys a phenomenal brother, a friend. I've known this brother more than 10 years, Mr. Brian Beane. And you may know him from Extra Digit Movement, Mentor to Millions. He's a father, he's a coach, he's a mentor. This brother has a story that I want you guys to hear. And we're going to talk about Bean Acres as well. He's going to bring that up. But I want to introduce to some and present the others, Mr. Brian Beane. Brian, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on the platform. Any exposure with me and you is cool. It's going to be a great time.
Man, absolutely, man. I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. When I tell y'all guys, he is busy. That brother's busy. I'm gonna take it. Now, I wanted to, come forward because this show is really about people being able to overcome adversity and move on in life. Because so many people have these excuses why I can't, and not too many people that I know personally has lost what you've lost in your life, man, and was able to regain it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell a little bit before we jump into your story? Tell the people a little bit about Brian Beane and who is Brian Beane?
Just a humble guy, man. I'm a humble guy from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. One of the few natives left here in Atlanta. Went to Westlake High School, graduated from Morehouse College, got my degree in English, and thought I was going to law school. A lot of people don't know that. I thought I was going to be in there, arguing back and forth with prosecutors, and and I realized that was too much reading and education. So I got my degree in English with that in mind, but I actually landed a job at the bank. Isn't that crazy? An English degree, working in finance, and I knew right then something was off. I'm like, oh, y'all just hire anybody, no matter what the degree is. But no, what happened was I had an internship at the bank, so I started studying how broke I was when I saw everybody else's bank accounts and millionaires come through and build real estate development and commercial development and subdivisions. And that kind of gave me the bug that I got now, believe it or not, 30 years later. I think that seed was planted when I was working at the bank in the construction lending. It's called construction lending, and also worked in commercial lending. So I saw dirt and trees go to buildings and structures. And I was like, I'm going back to my place and my house and my apartment. And I just saw, where Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown live and all these celebrities, the Braves and the Falcons. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be living like this with a name tag that says Bank of America, or at the time, Nations Bank on it. So I started studying wealthy people, man, and wealth principles. And by the time I graduated from college, I started doing that in college. By the time I graduated from college, my internship and what I saw positioned me to have help me have a big enough vision to where I retired when I was 22 years old, man. And
wow.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. We can't just go past that. Could you say that again? You retired when you were, how old were you?
I was 22. I started studying wealth principles at 19. Actually, I started studying wealth principles at 9. Believe it or not, I keep this book close to me. My mom gave me this book, Laws of Success, when I was 9 years old. This is the edited version. It's like double this size. But I started studying wealth principles when I was 9. But when I was 19, it really started to make more sense. And then when I was 22, I retired. And that's been over 27 years ago, man. So now
man.
Mindset and money and what it takes to be successful in both areas.
That is awesome, Brian. Being able to know what it is that you want out of life. So many people, walk aimlessly through life trying to figure out, what is my purpose? We talk about that a lot, but, what is my goal in life? To be such a young man and to be able to educate yourself on financial literacy to the point that you were able to retire.
Yeah.
So what happened after 22, man? You retired, then where'd you go from there?
So I started off in network marketing. I had a couple of grand slams in network marketing, and that's when I started learning my people skills, my presentation skills, my training skills, frameworks, conflict resolution, um, effective work habits, having a positive attitude, all these different principles that I learned, I started to apply them in network marketing. And I made my first $1 million in my 20s and got audited. A lot of people don't understand. So when I say I lost my first $1 million, it wasn't because I was being frivolous. I had my toys, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't that guy that needed a big house he couldn't afford and all this stuff. I got audited because nobody taught me the things that I teach now. Nobody taught me good record keeping. Nobody taught me tax minimization. Nobody taught me how real estate will shelter you from certain tax, give you certain tax deductions. Nobody taught me all these different things. So I lost my first $1 million in my 20s and had to start all over.
Wow.
And got it again. Yeah,
got it again. But got it again.
Got it again. Yeah. So I tell people, when you do it the first time, keep it. When you do it right and keep it, so you got to redo it. But no, it was a great lesson. At the time, I thought it was the worst thing in the world, but in retrospect, it was a great lesson, because now I'm real passionate about showing people how to invest, how to keep more money in your pocket, how to make your money grow, how to get paid every single day. I now make more money in a day than I was making in weeks on my job. I make more money in 30 days than I was making in 12 months on my job. So when you think about it that way, God put me through those things for a reason. And now I got the passion to show people, don't do the following things. You know what I mean? Make sure you do the following things. And I wouldn't be able to say that if I didn't lose it all at first. So it's a cool thing.
Man, I get that, brother. So let me ask you this though. So when you were 22, you gained that million, then you lost that million because unfortunately you were audited. So audits do happen, guys. It's not just something that people say. This man is speaking about it right now. You know, what did you do, bro? How were you able to come back from that, mentally?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So mentally, what I did was I said, okay, if the gift was in me, and that's why I teach my series now, it's called Instincts to Income. The gift was in me. God put certain gifts in us all. God gave all animals, and we are animals, we're just the highest form of intelligence. God gave us all either cellular intelligence or environmental intelligence. And we have we have what's called social intelligence. Animals have what's called cellular intelligence. So what I had to do was I tapped into my social intelligence, and I said, okay, wait a minute. I know a lot of people. You don't need to know a lot of people. You just need to know the right people. It's already in me. If I did it once, then there's no way in the world I can't do it again. All I need now is the financial education to go behind it. So I got frustrated, but I never got depressed. I never got sad. I just got more focused. And the mindset that it takes to get out of that situation is, okay, do everything you did the first time to get it, and then just don't do everything you did the first time to lose it. Life is really simple. I think people overcomplicate it. What did I do to make it the first time? Well, I had a positive attitude. I had conflict resolution skills. I had a strong work ethic, and I had the right opportunity. And I seized the moment. Okay, what'd you do to lose it? Well, I just didn't keep good records. I wasn't good at paying my taxes in advance, meaning like quarterly. When you're getting all your money up front, you got to go ahead and put some of it aside for the IRS. So keep those first 5 qualities, and then don't do these 3 things, and you'll be back on top. So it's deductive reasoning. It's real.
I dig, man.
Yeah.
I want to say that a different way. I'm gonna call that wisdom. being able to look back and use previous life experiences. Then when you're faced with the same situation, if it was a negative experience, don't do that. But if it's positive, I'm gonna do that 10x.
That's right.
So I definitely applaud you for that, man. And because so many people find themselves in a position where they can't overcome. They seem to always continue to focus looking at that rear view mirror. What has happened in life when this windshield is here where, hey, you got much more opportunity ahead of you than looking back over situations from previously what happened in your life. So so that's great. So you were able to move on. So
absolutely.
When you moved on, when I met you, you were already, that was your story when I met you, bro, because you were back to being the baller, you know what I mean? driving the
Yeah.
Rolls Royce and all that. You were back on point when I met you, man. So tell me about life in general, brother. Some of these things that you've learned on this journey, and how you put these things in play, and how you teach other people to do this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you really think about it, a lot of people don't realize this, but we have people who know that or who believe that we are of or like the creator. And here's how I look at life. I believe that too. I say, okay, if we're of or like the creator, got it. And now if you believe that God made you in his image, now whatever you call God, I'm just saying, as long as you believe in something higher than yourself, I'm not a real religious guy. I'm more of a spiritual guy. But if you believe that God made you in his image, and I want you to think about this, Keith, you had absolutely nothing to do with how you got here. You had nothing to do with it. Now our egos get big. Sometimes we forget, we start living this physical experience. But what we forget is you didn't have nothing to do with how you got here. You just got here. No choice. You didn't choose how you got here. Well, some people say you chose your parents, but you know what I mean. You didn't have anything to do with it. Now, if you're of or like the creator and you believe in a higher power, and then you are a child of God, how can you believe in God and you don't believe in you? It's an oxymoron. If you are an extension of the creator and you believe in him, then it's impossible for you not to believe in yourself because he is you. So when I realized, wait a minute, if I'm an extension of him and I believe in him, and I believe that he is the here, the there, the everywhere around it, and the nothing in between, and I am of that same matter, why don't I have the utmost confidence in my own abilities as well? Once you tap into that and find out, they say you're born twice. You're born when you get here, and then you're born again when you find out why you're put here. Once you tap into that belief system and get your confidence where it needs to be, and the only reason your confidence is shaken is because of educational systems, media, advertising these days, social media, the opinions of others. Once you get your God-given confidence and abilities back and get focused enough to stay away from all the things that have nothing to do with you and your confidence, then you'll start living in your purpose. And I found out early that my purpose was teaching people complicated things in a simple format. I believe that life is actually very, very simple. It has difficult components, but overall, life is a simple, simple journey. I didn't say you can control everything, but you can't control how you react to things. And I believe that finances in America is a simple, simple concept. I didn't say it was easy to understand, but I said it is quite simple. And once I learned the difference between easy and simple, my mindset and money start increasing.
Wow, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. One key point that you did make, though, is that people should start looking internal.
And
They should
absolutely.
start looking internal, as the creator has already given individuals everything that they need in this life. We say purpose, power, understanding, remembering, planning, overcoming, seeing, executing. That's one of the things that we talk about, man, really, that purpose. And knowing what it is that you have in you and having the confidence in that to be able to attack anything that you see out here externally, man. That's wonderful, brother, that you were able to do that, because we talk about that now. So I'm turning 61, 62. I'm still having conversations on some
Yeah.
case with myself. I'm being honest,
Yeah. It
with
never ends. It
myself,
never
man.
ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stop having conversations with yourself, Keith. They say put an X on the human heart. You might as well be out of here. So no, nobody masters it, because as soon as you think I would say, gotten really good at one thing, there's something else out there for you to learn. Or the one thing that you've really gotten good at, it has evolved and there's another level to it. So 61, 62, 49, 71, the minute you stop evolving, you might as well put an X on the human heart. So no, it doesn't matter what age you are. It matters what area of your life you're focusing on.
Oh, wow, that's powerful, bro. Y'all heard that, right? Didn't matter what age you are, it's the area in your life and what you're focused on.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wonderful, brother. I knew you was gonna be dropping some nuggets. I hope you guys
And
got got your pen and paper, because he's already dropped some nuggets on you. He's already changed your life. If you really heard what Brian has already said, it's already been life changing. Yeah, absolutely, brother. So let's talk about so today, man. So tell me about some of the things you got going on today now, man.
Well, yeah. So I just launched a program. Or I relaunched a program. I wanted to revamp it, update it, and make it stronger, called Instincts to Income. And what Instincts to Income is, it's the culmination of the two things that I talk about: mindset and money. The instincts are the internal characteristics and mechanisms that God gave you that you need to tap into. So I call it tap into your instincts. See, here's the problem, Keith. We're the highest form of intelligence on the planet, but we're the weakest emotionally. You know what I mean? A tiger really don't get his feelings hurt. I'll put it this way: if he does, it ain't as easy as we get ours hurt. You know, a hummingbird has to keep moving, or the bottom line is he will die, because his metabolism, he's moving so fast that he has to find the next flower with nectar in it. And he has already figured out which flowers he's visited before and which flowers have the nectar that he's not visited. Because if he wastes his time in flowers with no nectar, he'll die. So I teach the hummingbird concept with time management. You got to stop visiting people and flowers and situations with no nectar, or you're slowly dying. And so my time management course, the cheetah has a long tail that acts as a rudder, because we know the cheetah for its speed. What you don't know him for is his adaptability. He's got to be able to change direction just like that. His head is so small and aerodynamic that he'll overheat if he keeps running at 70 miles an hour. He'll die. So he's got to adapt, use that tail, shake and move, and know when to shut it down. And that's when I talk about adaptability and the 7 steps of change. So I have about 20 to 24 animals. Four of them are unreleased, but I'll say 18 to 20 animals that I study, different walks that I've studied to take you on different walks of life. The silverback, the hummingbird, the Gila monster, the Jesus lizard, the brown bear, the black bear, the honeybee, the ant, the owl, the eagle, the praying mantis, the snow leopard, all these different animals. And I teach you how to use what God gave them to make you unleash the beast within you. Now I take that, now that you're stronger, I teach you these 5 wealth principles called SIMPLE. Shift, increase, multiply, protect, and leverage everything. It's spelled simple. Shift your money back to you. Increase your money, make more of it. Multiply your money, make the money work for you. Protect the money. I have to teach you or show you the power of trust. Own nothing, control everything, and then leverage everything. When you spell out simple, and I take you step by step by step through that concept, now you got the mindset necessary to be successful. And let's put some money with that, because you do live in America, whether you want to or not.
Man, come on, bro.
That not you live in America whether you want to or not. America is a capitalistic society, whether you want to participate in it or not. So you got to understand capitalism and how it works.
Bro, you need to pick the mic back up, man. You just dropped the mic again, bro. Good gracious. Because hey, listen, did y'all hear about the hummingbird? Some flowers you don't need to go back to, or people,
Don't revisit.
Wow, that's powerful. Or situations, Man, that is powerful, man. And so of course, when as we know, this is recorded. When I play that back, I'm going to definitely have that running across there on the bottom, so people can see how to get in contact with you, Brian. I mean, man, that concept and using animals, the visuals, it's something that I know people can remember. Wow.
Yeah, they can get a free sample of it at workwithbnb.com. So if you put that on the website, workwithbn, as in never ask me what N stands for, B. So it's my initials, workwithbnb.com, and they can go check it out.
Gotcha. You still saying it? You still not telling, huh?
I ain't telling you, man. But if you look hard enough, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
So you guys go to Work with BNB to get an example, a free example, no cost to you. You get more details of what Brian is talking about. Yeah. So tell me, man, let's talk about Beane Acres, man. Tell the people about Beane Acres, brother. That's pretty interesting.
Beane Acres is a culmination of my life's work. It really is. It's 20 acres of land with that I own here in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually just expanded it and 3 more acres on my right side. So now it's 23 acres. We got the nature trails marked with street signs. Imagine having your own subdivision on your own property. So I got an agricultural parcel, and I got street signs that all have at the root. So you come down Abundance Avenue, you make a right on Prosperity Path. When you keep going down Prosperity Path, you're gonna exit on our Wealth Walkway. Walkway takes you down to the Ducks, which you can get on another trail and fork and go around Tranquility Trail. Tranquility Trail will take you up Dedication Drive. Dedication Drive brings you back to Legacy Lane, and then Legacy Lane takes you back out toward Prosperity Path. So while you're on the property, whether we use ATVs or whether we use horses, or whether you want to walk the property, or whether you want to fish, I have geese out there. I have there, believe it or not, that I've actually trained. People don't believe me, but you can go watch the videos on my Instagram. They know how to come to me when I whistle. I make sure they stay fed. That's why they don't leave the property. They tapped into their instincts because, quick side note, ducks have what's called imprinting. Imprinting means the first thing they see, they mimic. So if a duck is born on a farm like mine were, they mimic chickens because the first thing they saw were chickens. So my ducks didn't know how to fly.
Oh, wow.
People don't have to believe me, but I'm just telling you, I had a reason to lie. Now, it was always in them. God gave them that ability, but they thought they were chickens. Well, when I got them out to Beane Acres and they saw geese fly over, wild geese fly over, they were like, in layman terms, wait a minute, I think I'm supposed to be doing that. After a while, man, I would run and run and run at the top of the hill, and I would have food in my hand. And eventually, so they would beat me to the food, they just took off and started flying. Yeah, wow. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing, man.
So I say all that to say, Beane Acres has been 23 acres of an incredible ride. We use it to shoot movies, content creation, and videos, different types of filmography. My largest client has been the Georgia Lottery. They shot a commercial out there. Love and Hip Hop has been out there 3 times. I was even featured on one of the episodes of Love and Hip Hop this season as the life coach who helped 2 of the young ladies think about some conflict resolution skills with their parents. Love and Hip Hop used it 3 times. Valvoline Oil has been out there to do a shoot. There's a gentleman, I forgot his name, but he's got like 8 million views on his video. I believe he's from South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. He shot his video there. And it's just been an amazing ride, man. Zane, the author, she rented the place for a month. I don't know if y'all remember those little steamy books. Some of y'all may not want to admit it, but ask the young ladies about Zane. She shot out there for a month. So we use the cabin and the cottage and the lake for a variety of different things. And it's arguably my best work that I'm the most proud of, because now everybody can come together and see what a real asset looks like. Everybody can come together and see what investing looks like. Everybody can come together and see what cash flow looks like. And it's just bringing some of the most powerful people in the community across the country together to have a great time, man. And a lot of times at my own expense.
Wow, man, that's wonderful, man. As you say, your life culmination, your work, everything that you work so hard to do, you can actually see it in the tangible sense. One of the things you said about those ducks, man, it kind of radiated with me as well. As they saw the chickens.
Yeah.
Too many of us that are ducks or that are eagles, we spend too much time with chickens, man, and acting like chickens, brother.
And it will imprint on you.
Yeah, and so what kind of jumped out at me is and what it is that you do, why it's so important to have a mentor, and some other individuals that are let me say it like this. I learned a long time ago, brother, that you don't want to be the smartest man in the room. I don't want to be the smartest man in the room. I'm not going to be that guy. because when you need help, you can't get it. You're the one that know everything. You're the one that got everything. You can't get help. So it's great to see other individuals that are elevated above yourself. So this is why it's so important that people see, guys like you. We're always talking about trying to acquire wealth. But when we bring somebody forward that has been able to achieve that, man, I mean, it speaks volumes to you for one, but it also lets other individuals know that they're able to acquire this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's possible. It's not wealth doesn't have, you know, it doesn't decide who it wants to jump on and who it doesn't want to jump on. You decide whether or not you want to jump on it. The challenge is, especially in our community, most people can't go after something they haven't seen. See, the
Mm,
problem, Keith, is you got to first know that it's possible for you. See, everybody knows that it's possible because they can look at Instagram or they can look at not, don't even get me started on social media, but I'll just say Instagram because that's where most people, or I'll just say social media because that's where a lot of people peer into other people's lives, which is unfortunate. But that's another story. But my point is, you can see that there are some successful people out there. There's a whole bunch of fake people out there too. But for those that are really successful, you can pick up a magazine, you can follow them on the internet, you can read their books, listen to their audio books. So we know that it exists. But is it possible for you? All you have to do is understand that wealthy people think differently. Wealthy people think about long term. They make short term sacrifices and minimize small things to make long term sacrifices and maximize big things. I mean, to get long term results and maximize big things. Poor people do the opposite. They magnify small things and they minimize big things. Everything a wealthy person does is the opposite. Poor
mm,
people buy the appearances of wealth. Wealthy people don't have to look wealthy at all because they're not trying to do anything to impress you. So when you see Warren Buffett, or when you see Bill Gates, or when you see Zuckerberg, I just use those guys for now. When you see Bob Johnson, or you see Oprah Winfrey, day to day to day, they're not trying to show you their Lamborghini. They're not trying to show you their chain. They're not trying to show you their shoes. By the time you get that wealthy, you really don't care what other people think about it. So you don't have to go out your way to purchase the appearances of wealth, which is what keeps you broke. The reason wealthy people stay wealthy is because the first thing they do is ask themselves, how can I make this money multiply? Wealthy people pay themselves first. Broke people pay their bills first. So really, the principles are available for us all. Is whether or not you're going to be principle based or emotion based. People say, I'm busy. I got a lot going on. Busy doing what? If one of the things you're doing is not putting more money in your pocket that you can earn while you sleep, then you aren't busy, you're broke. See, people confuse broke and busy. I know a lot of people that's busy, but they got a whole bunch of money. And I know a lot of people that's broke, but they got a whole bunch of time. But you can't be broke and busy. You see what I'm saying? So when I learned that, wait a minute, Brian, you broke and busy. You run around here hustling and chasing, and you ain't got no money. If it's only two kinds of equity, time and money, you can't be lacking both of them. If
mm.
I'm
Wow.
if I'm broke, I better be free as a bird. Okay. But if I'm busy, I better not be broke. I was both. And when I fixed that and said, wait a minute, time is a finite resource. You ain't got unlimited amounts of it. I started maximizing my time. And Keith, I ain't care what nobody said. I ain't care who said what to me. I started focusing on finances. I lost some relationships. Yep. I lost some friendships. Yep. But guess what? I'm doing fine now in every area of my life because I took some time to focus on making sure money wasn't going to be my problem. Then now you can grow spiritually. Now you can grow socially. Now you can grow emotionally. Now you can grow mentally. But too many people try to do all of that. And they say, I'm busy. And they busy doing nothing but spinning their wheels. And that's the problem with most people. They do the opposite of what wealthy people do.
Wow. Man,
Yep.
I tell you, brother, you make it sound so simple, man, but it's you know what they say, it's fair, but it's true. you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So if a person is watching this right now and they find themselves, you got two different sets of people, right? You got the young ones that's not listening. They're looking
Mhm.
at love and hip hop. They're looking at all that and they're thinking that, hey, I can go up here, I can get a podcast, and I can make $1 million. And then you got the older ones that say, oh, it's over for me.
Right. Right.
How do you bridge that gap, man? I'm quite sure you have something. So what is it that anybody can actually do to acquire some of these things that you're mentioning right now?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm not so sure that bridging the gap between the old school mentality and the new school techniques. I'm not
Let
sure
me,
that.
let me say that a different way, because
Okay.
that ain't happening.
Right.
That ain't
Right.
happening. I'm saying you got an old person over here that's thinking one older. I'm gotta
Mhm.
say old. I'm 61. I ain't gonna say old, but an older
Right.
person that's over here thinking, man, woe is me. It's too late for me. And you got a young person over here that's thinking, well, I got all this time ahead of me. I'll get to that when I get to it. So it's like
Right.
two different mindsets.
Your mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, here's the thing. There's no one size fit all for any situation. Here's one thing that's constant amongst us all, though. It's principles. It's principles. So if I say, okay, I'm just going to give you 5 examples that I live by. If I say I need 5 things: a positive attitude, conflict resolution skills, a healthy work ethic, an effective plan that works, and the avoidance of negative people. Those are the 5 things I say I need: a positive attitude, a healthy work ethic, a plan that effectively works, the avoidance of negative people, and conflict resolution skills. Now, once you become principle based, if it doesn't fit in one of those 5 things, I'm not doing it, because now I'm principle based. In other words, I've established the pillars that I'm going to stand on. Now, anything outside of that, any cheating, any lying, any scamming, any stealing, it don't fit my 5 principles. You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you have to first establish what you believe in. And before you do that, make sure you do a deep dive into why you believe those things. Most people are walking around life with thoughts that aren't even theirs. Somebody told you to think like that. Somebody taught you to think like that. What I do is I base my principles on things that have withstood the test of time, number one. So they got longevity. And I ain't talking about 5 years. I'm talking about centuries, number one. And things that have a proven track record for success. So you got longevity and then you got social proof. Now, once I had those 2 things and I add my pillars or make those my pillars, I'm not doing anything outside of that. So if you're young and you believe that you're going to be the next TikToker, okay? If you're young and you believe you're going to be the next YouTuber, okay? Who am I or anybody to tell you that that's not possible? I'm going to support you 110%. As long as you stand on those pillars and your belief system, but you better be with somebody that's got a proven track record and some longevity to show you how that works. So if you're older, once you establish your pillars that work for you, those 5 things I just mentioned work for me. Once you establish the pillars and principles that work for you, who am I to tell you that you're too old to invest? You're not. Who am I to that you're too old for certain investments that just won't work in the time span that you're trying to get your goals met? But who am I to tell you that you're too old to invest? You're not. Who am I to tell you that you're too old to start a new habit? You're not. Who am I to tell you too old to start a new skill? You're not. No human being can tell you what you should and should not do. What a human being can do is give you advice from their perspective and their area of expertise on how to do something. So if it goes back to the beginning of our conversation, if you're of or like the creator, another human being can't really take you off your path unless you allow it. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Stand on your principles, find your 4 or 5 pillars, and then get around people that have some longevity and some proof and apply your principles to it, and you'll succeed in every vertical.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna tell you, man, I really appreciate you taking time out today, man. I'm sitting here eating at your table, man. I'm enjoying this meal, man.
I
I
appreciate it.
really am,
I
brother.
appreciate it. I coach every single week. I coach every single month to a degree every single day, man. Everybody got to do is get with me. Workwithbnb.com, and I'll show you the way.
I got it. So we definitely need to tap into you, brother. Tap into what it is that you got going on, because definitely individuals need to understand about investing today. They do, and how to we talk a lot about legacy. We talk a lot about legacy and being able to move that wealth on to the next generation. So I know you guys do the same. So I'm looking to definitely team up with you guys, man,
Looking
and
forward
bring
to it,
some
man.
things forward down here to Virginia, where I'm at,
I'm
because
looking for some pioneers, man. I show everybody the way. I'm looking for some hungry people. I'm looking for two kinds of people: hungry and looking. If you're hungry and looking, I'll be in Virginia. I'll
you
be I'll
got it,
be on
man. You
the
got it,
first.
man.
I'll be in person soon.
Man, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, brother. Um, Let me ask you this, man. What else? Anything that you want to talk about while we're right here and we got a captive ear that you'd like to share?
No,
That you
just I want to just let people know this, that right now there are some awkward times in our country. I feel like it's very divisive. I feel like some people are a little bit nervous. Some people are a little bit uncertain. And it's okay to be uncertain. Don't let your uncertainty lead to paranoia. Don't feed too much into propaganda. When you wake up every morning, don't let social media or the national news be the first thing you look at. When you go to bed at night, don't let social media or the news be the last thing you listen to. What you need right now is community. See, now's the time, Keith, like never before, to lock arms and find a community. And that's what Extra Digit is all about. We're a community of people from all walks of life who lock arms and focus on mindset and money. And when you do that, if you stay in this environment of positivity, abundance, and self-worth, more than you stay in that environment of uncertainty, paranoia, and scarcity, then you start to embody and become the thing you need to become to attract the people in your life that you want. Again, that's not Brian Beane, that's natural law. The law of association, the law of attraction, the law of assimilation, the law of averages, the law of large numbers, the law of diminishing intent, the law of inertia. These are laws that govern the world. Once you learn these things and get in a community of people who embody these things, then you don't let a bunch of superficial stuff bother you. So just remember, in this current climate, in this current environment, the one thing you need is community and currency.
oh,
Money has to flow. Okay.
all right.
Remember, money has to flow. If you're sitting on your money and you just stacking it up and you just saving it, you're actually losing money. Money's called currency for a reason. It has to move. That's why they call the edge of a river the bank. Just think about that for a minute. So
Mm-hmm.
you got money that's moving and flowing and circulating, you're going to do fine. When you get paranoid and you sit still and you just start saving, your money's actually losing value. So the number one thing you need right now is community, and that's the new commodity to help you get some currency.
All right, brother. All right. I usually say, let's get some sauce, but this whole episode has been full of sauce, man.
I appreciate
Something
it, man.
that people can put into play, as soon as they get off the podcast, man. You've dropped so many nuggets on us today, Brian, but I really appreciate it. And again, guys, this is recorded, so you're definitely going to have the information that you need to be able to reach out to Brian and Extra Digit Movement and the BNB and get some more information about your life, because
Yeah,
he shared. I mean, he's given us a blueprint today, y'all. Really, really has, man. And Brian, I appreciate your time, brother.
I
And I
appreciate you.
definitely,
Thanks for having me on.
definitely, man, look forward to hopefully can get you back again, man. And we're reconnecting, brother. I promise you that we're reconnecting. But in any case, man, again, hey Brian, thank you so much for tuning in. And guys, I look forward to seeing you next week. But let's go back live. All right. Well, that was good, right? So Mr. Brian Beane out of Atlanta, Georgia, as I stated, I met Brian some years ago And I heard his story, and he's just been excelling ever since. What we have to do is get around like-minded individuals, right? People that are going somewhere in life, not around people that are always talking about the gloom and doom that we face in this world, because it's plentiful, right? It's a plethora of different organizations and platforms in which you can go to, where it's always going to be some negative type of condensation that's around it, right? That negative energy that is around it. So we're here on Talking PHAT, and purpose, hope, and truth. That has to mean for something, y'all. As I look, I'm going to be here every week. I'm committed to coming forward, bringing you public information that a lot of times is just not public knowledge. And we're coming forward also in the Hampton Roads area. We're starting a men's organization called Brother Bring a Brother. Now, for you guys out here, let me tell you about this real quick. We all know at least one person that is of a like mind. If you like yourself and you are a positive person and you're looking to do something in life, not survive life, but actually live life, being able to take care of your first business, which is your family business, or if you're in business, how to optimize the function of your business so you can create more income. Because what do we say? We say mindset, tool set, skill set leads to assets. So Brother Bring a Brother. And so please, stay tuned for that. And we're going to do that real soon. But nevertheless, I'm going to put this up here for you guys. If, nope, add that one. This is the one I want to put up. Listen, if you have something you like to share, text us at 757-776-1591. If you feel like you have some public information that should be public knowledge that you would like to share with some other people, please come forward. And before we get out of here again, I want to give you guys Brian's information. Of course, you can go to work with BNB. Okay, and you can go in, and it's you can go in there, and it's not going to cost you anything. Dig in and see what he has to offer. I mean, there's a lot of information that this brother has been providing for years. He's been one of my mentors for quite a while. We kind of lost contact, and I thought about him for the podcast coming on, and I'm glad I did, because I really enjoyed it myself, and I hope you did too. Well, anyway, guys, listen, I'm Keith Robertson, the Fin Coach. I'll be here next week, 8 o'clock Thursday. We got another guest coming forward for you. So listen, as we say, action of knowledge leads to power. Without action, knowledge is just information. But in the case, I should say, hey, Keith Robertson, I'm the Fin Coach. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you next week. Peace and blessings. And I'm out. Deuces.